Big game breakdown continues here on Sports, but this one's a little bit different. We're going to do it just like we did yesterday with quick hitters from conference term. There's so many games going on and so much action. I didn't want to spend 8 minutes talking about a game or 5 minutes talking about a game. Let's plow through a bunch of games and see if we can get you guys some good information that you can use tonight and perhaps something that'll carry over the weekend as well. Talk Butler Villanova first. Hey, there's no intimidation for Butler against Villanova. Butler 3-1 straight up, 3-1 against the spread against Nova the last 2 seasons. That's impressive. Nobody else has done that, beaten Nova 3 times over the last 2 years. But we talk about the circumstances for this ballgame. Villanova, the much easier ride on Thursday. Michael Bridges, the only starter to go 30 minutes. He only went 33. And I'm a little bit reluctant to step in front of Nova today. Villanova did not win the regular season Big East title. This is a team that is used to winning Big East regular season titles. You're talking about the veterans, the Jalen Brunson, Michael Bridges, Phil Booth. They made it to the Big East Finals 3 years ago. They won it all last year. They take this tournament seriously. Last night, of course, the first time that Butler has ever won a game in the Big East tournament. How'd they do it? They fell behind by 14. They went 6 of 26 from three-point range, while Seton Hall shot 50% from beyond the arc. Seton Hall controlled the boards, won by 9. But Butler only had 5 turnovers. Seton Hall had 13. The problem for Butler tonight? Villanova, they're not going to turn the ball over. Of course, the quote from Butler, Kamar Baldwin, our motto is gritty, not pretty. We knew it was going to be a battle the whole game. In the huddle, we talked amongst each other, the players. We need to get stops and get it back. That's what we did to trim the lead down. I'm still in no rush to step in front of Villanova. Clemson and Virginia, the only meeting so far this season, a blowout. This one was ugly. Virginia was minus 9.5 at home. They won the game 61-36. They held the Tigers to 36 points. Clemson, 15 of 47 shooting in that game. They had 19 turnovers compared to 6 assists. They were outscored 34-13 in the second half. The Clemson upperclassmen have had no success against the pack line defense. 0-5 straight up, 1-4 against the spread the last 5 meetings against the Cavs. Is it a psychological block? Is it a tactical issue? Either way, Clemson has not been able to solve this defense. And Clemson, they're a solid defensive team, a solid rebounding team, but this is where they missed Dante Graham. The key for Virginia, of course, the leading scorer, Kyle Guy. He'd been just 5 of 21 in the previous 3 games. He played with a knee brace, but 19 points and 7 rebounds in the win and cover over Louisville yesterday. Let's talk North Carolina Duke. Home team wins and covers both previous meetings. The Tar Heels minus 1.5 at home. They won 82-78. Duke minus 7.5 at home. They won 74-64 just last week. Round 3 of the Battle of the Boards. You want to talk about 2 teams that are really good at one thing? Duke, number 1 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. North Carolina, number 2 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. Both of these teams hit the offensive glass hard. North Carolina won and covered the first meeting. Look what happened. Offensive rebounds head-to-head. They dominated the offensive glass. Duke won the second meeting, won and covered. What happened? They won the Battle of the Boards. That's going to be a great matchup tonight to see who's winning the rebounding battle. And if you see a team with an edge early on the glass, that might be an opportunity to get involved with an in-game wager. Of course, Notre Dame, they had no answer for Marvin Bagley yesterday. The game was played at a fast pace, and Bagley went nuts, 33 points, 17 rebounds. I don't know that North Carolina's got an answer either. In the 2 head-to-head games this season, Marvin Bagley, 48 points and 33 rebounds. That's tough. That's tough. And of course, North Carolina, I'm impressed with what they did yesterday. They opened Miami scored the first 14 points of the game. 14-0 Miami. Boom, you blink. And then Luke May, Joel Berry, they combined to shoot just 5 of 29, 1 of 11 on triples. And yet they still rally back to win that contest. Berry, ice cold right now, just 9 of 34 over the last 3 games, 3 of 20 on 3-pointers. If Berry is missing today, that doesn't go well. Doesn't bode well, I should say, for the Tar Heels' chances. Kansas State and Kansas. Jayhawks were minus 12 at home. They won 73-72 by a single point. Did not cover the number. They were minus 1 at K-State in Manhattan, and they won that game by 14. So the game where they were favored by doubles, they won by 1. And the game that they were favored by 1, they won by doubles. Malik Newman, again, we talked about at the top of the show. He was big time for Kansas yesterday. Noah Azubuike, Devontae Graham, only 2 of 8 with 6 turnovers. Newman carried that team. 30 points on 11 of 15 shooting, 4 of 6 from three-point range. Here's his quote. I was kind of beating myself up and down on myself because I felt like the 2 times that we did play, I was a huge contributor to us losing by me not being locked in, not paying attention to the scouting report and things like that. Before we left, I had a little talk with myself, and I just told myself, whatever you do, just make sure you eliminate as many mental mistakes as you can. Malik Newman was able to do that. Good Kansas State defense or tired Oklahoma State offense. It was 43-42 at Kansas at halftime. Then Oklahoma State just 26 points the rest of the way. They could not hit a three-pointer, 5 of 22 from beyond the arc. Tired legs or not so much? Good question. And we'll find out a little bit perhaps today. The question is Kansas State going to have legs today? Because Kansas State, starter minutes against TCU, big time. Brown, 44. Snead, 42. And, of course, Wade, 41. That's a problem. And the early word, this has not been confirmed, but the early word, we're talking about Wade, who averages 16.7 points, 6.5 rebounds per game, does not look like he's going to play today because of a foot injury. That's something to pay attention to between now and tip-off. Obviously, the markets will tell you whether he's in action or not. So far, the early money has come on the Kansas Jayhawks. Let's do one more. How about Oklahoma? How about UCLA, Arizona from the Pac-12? This is going to be a fun one. The only meeting this year, UCLA plus 9.5 on the highway. They won that game outright, 82-74 at Arizona. UCLA won every battle in that contest. They certainly won the shooting battle. 52% shooting from the floor in that game. All 5 starters, the Bruins, scored at least 11 points. The Bruins are kind of peaking right now. Aaron Holiday's big time. He was big time yesterday against Stanford. He was a monster. He was as good a player as anyone I saw all day yesterday. 34 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Back-to-back games for Aaron Holiday of 30-plus points, 5-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists. You worry about the downside, perhaps. He did play all 40 minutes yesterday, and that could be a concern. But no problem with freshness for DeAndre Ayton and the Wildcats. Ayton had a lousy game against Colorado. Only 25 minutes before fouling out. Just 4 of 14 from the field. Just 2 of 6 at the free throw line. Only 3 turnovers. I like the concept of DeAndre Ayton off a bad game. More energy tonight, perhaps, because he played so little yesterday. And UCLA does not have a great interior defender to stop him. All that being said, man, I'm getting some good quotes about that UCLA offense right now. Stanford head coach Jared Haas after the UCLA loss, quote, they're a hard team for anybody to guard. Holiday, is arguably the best point guard in the country, and he played like it today. Holiday's quote, I'm a little tired, obviously, playing that many minutes. That's a concern, but I've been here before, so it's no big deal. Lean over in this contest. No surprise we see a fun shootout between the Bruins and the Wildcats. That's what I got for NCAA Quick Hitters Friday's action. You know how we roll. We'll be back on Monday, and lo and behold, we'll have a big dance to talk about. Seedings, brackets, the works. Be sure to check back in on Monday. Between now and then, enjoy the games, and good luck. And please, if you like this type of content, if you think this is quality information, give me a like, give me a follow, give me a retweet. I need the social media love to keep this project going. Please give us some love. Best of luck. Enjoy the games all weekend long. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.